Welcome to our class of Chemistry Practical. This is another session for our Chemistry Practicals. So, be together here to understand how about this experiment. Today we are in experiment number 5 and we are in a specific objectives of determination of a known element and the identification of that element within a compound. So, experiment number 5 is you are provided with the following solutions. You have solution X, which contains 0.5 molarity of sulphuric acid, and you have solution Y, which contains monovalent metal hydroxide made by dissolving 4 grams of metal hydroxide in a distilled water up to 1000 ml of the solution, that is 1 liter. It means 4 grams dissolved in 1 liter. Our indicator is methyl orange indicator. We are going to use in titration. So you students, according you see that this questions contains dilution concept. So we are going to perform procedure. So procedure A, you are supposed to perform that procedure by using what you have been provided. Procedure A is measure exactly 20 ml of X, which is sulphuric acid, by using 100 ml of measuring cylinder, and then carefully add distilled water up to 100 mark, then stir. So this is procedure you are supposed to perform. Measure exactly 20 of X by using that measuring cylinder of 100 ml, and then add distilled water up to 100 mark. Then you are supposed to stir that solution to make it mono concentration or homogeneous concentration. So when we refer to stir, it means the experiment will refer to get the accurate volume of that experiment required. That is very important. So you are supposed to perform. Procedure B, then after performing dilution, call this solution as X1, and then fill X1 into the burette, that is acid. Procedure C, titrate X1, which have been diluted and not from previous, which is X. Use X1, which you have performed dilution. Then titrate against either 20 ml or 25 ml of Y. This 20 or 25 depends your pipette you have been provided or you have. So titrate using 2 drops of indicator. Obtain 3 accurate values. So perform pilot, 1 titration, 2 and 3. That is very important to you. And then record your results in a tabular form. That is our data and that is our procedure for that experiment. Let's see the questions relating with our experiment. Question number 1, or the first question is, the color change at the ending point was from dash to dash. So you are supposed to know the color change from the first up to the end of your reaction or titration. The second question, how many volume of Y required to neutralize the volume of X for the complete reaction? That is another question you are supposed to answer. Question number 3, write a balanced chemical equation for the reaction between X1 and the Y. It means acid and the base. Then another question, calculate the following. 1. Calculate the molarity of X and the molarity of Y. 2. Calculate the molar mass of Y. 3. Calculate the atomic mass of metal M. Number 4. Identify the metal M and write its electronic configuration. Then the last question, state 2 properties of each of X and the Y. So you are supposed to state properties of sulphuric acid diluted and the diluted solution of base. That is our questions or about our experiment. So for a few minutes I give you here to make intensive understanding. You pass through that questions and then we will start to see the answering of the questions. After passing through that questions, let's see the answers. The first answer you are supposed to know, you are supposed to show the pipette used and the burette used. And our pipette used here is 25 and the burette is always 50 mils or centimeter cube. Then after that, you are supposed to show a table of results or burette readings. And on showing your table, you are supposed to consider SI units of the mils or the volume, and you are supposed to write your value into 2 decimal places as you see there. Then after that, you are supposed to show the average volume used, even if on your procedure there is no question guided you to calculate the average volume used. The average volume used is calculated by using formula volume 1 plus volume 2 plus volume 3 divided by 3. We find the average to get one volume. So our volume is 12.5 plus 12.6 plus 12.5 divided by 3. The value is 37.5 divided by 3. So the total volume of X1 is 12.5. That is volume used. Another question, the color change at the ending point was from yellow to orange. So the first color was yellow, and then after the end for titration, the color changed to orange. That is the color change. Another question, 25 mils of Y, which is base, required to neutralize 12.5 mils of X1 for the complete reaction. So that is our answer for that question. Another question, the answer is write the balanced chemical equation for the reaction X1 and the Y. So the balanced chemical equation is sulphuric acid aqueous solution react with metal hydroxide. The product is metal sulfate aqueous solution plus water. That is our balanced chemical equation, and the molar ratio is number of mole of acid is 1 and the number of mole of base is 2. Then another question is calculate the following: 1 molarity of X1 and the molarity of Y. We start with the molarity of X1. Molarity of X1, we have been provided X 0.5 molarity, but we have given a task within a procedure to perform dilution. So in that case, the concentration of X is 0.5, and after dilution we are supposed to find another concentration after adding water in that solution of X, which have been called the X1. So the formula we use dilution formula, M1V1 is equal to M2V2. So we are going to perform to find the molarity of diluted, which is M2. So molarity of diluted is equal to M1 times V1 over V2. M1 we have been provided 0.5, V1 is 20, and M2 is required, and the V2 we have diluted up to 100 mils. So molarity of diluted is 0.5 times 20 divided by 100 centimeter cube, that is mils. Volume of diluted, so molarity of X1 is 0.1 mole per decimeter cube. That is molarity of X1. Then molarity of Y. Molarity of Y, we use MAVA or molar ratio formula. MAVA and B is equal to MBVB and A. So molarity of acid is equal to 0.1. Volume of acid is 12.5. Molarity of base is equal to required. We are finding molarity of Y, which is molarity of base. Volume of base is 25 mils. Number of mole of acid is 1 mole, and the number of mole of base is 2 mole. Let's check molarity of base. In calculation, molarity of base is equal to molarity of acid times the volume of acid times the number of mole of base divided by volume of base times the number of mole of acid. So 0.1 times 12.5 times 2 divided by 25 times 1 mole. So the molarity of Y is 0.1 mole per decimeter cube. Molar mass of Y. Molar mass of Y. Molar mass is equal to concentration over molarity. Molar mass is equal to concentration over molarity. But concentration is the mass over volume. And then concentration is equal to mass over volume. The mass we have 4 and the volume is 1 decimeter cube. So the concentration is equal to 4 divided by 1 decimeter cube. So the concentration is equal to 4 gram per decimeter cube. So the molar mass is 4 gram per decimeter cube divided by molarity of base, and then the molar mass of Y is equal to 40 gram per mole. That is molar mass of Y. Atomic mass of M. We are supposed, after finding the molar mass of whole compound of Y, we are supposed to take the atomic mass of oxygen plus atomic mass of hydrogen. We minus from the molar mass, and then the rest will be the atomic mass of metal M. So 40 minus 17 is equal to 23. So the atomic mass of M, metal M, which is unknown, is 23. So according to the answer, the metal M is sodium, and its electronic configuration is 281, which is 11. That is atomic mass of M, and the element is sodium. Another question you are supposed to answer is properties of X and Y. We start with properties of X, which is dilute sulfuric acid. Physical properties of X or dilute sulfuric acid. The first property is colorless and is odorless. Then it is a strong acid. Sulfuric acid is strong acid. Another property is it turns blue litmus paper red. Blue turns red litmus paper. That is physical properties. Chemical properties of sulfuric acid. It is dibasic acid, means that it forms two types of salt, sulfate and hydrogen sulfate. So it forms two types of salt, which is sulfate and hydrogen sulfate, and that is equation. Another chemical property of sulfuric acid, it gives off hydrogen gas when you react with the metal. Another chemical properties, it neutralizes the base, and our reaction is neutralization reaction. Properties of Y, which is sodium hydroxide. Physical properties, it is colorless and is odorless. Another, it forms slippery with the skin. Chemical properties, it combines with the acid to form a salt in the water, and then it neutralizes the acid. That is our properties of sodium hydroxide or properties of Y solution. That's the end for lesson. Still learning for the coming lesson. Thank you.